coming to you today from my locals community with your daily dose of business inspiration. Come on over and join me at askcharlyleetham.locals.com. You can join the community for free. You can become a supporter for $2 US per month. That allows you to interact with the content, leave comments, and start your own discussions on the topics, or start your own discussions in total. It also gives you access to supporter-only content, and it also helps me to keep creating content like this, like my podcasts, like my tutorials. Today, I want to talk about building a culture of innovation and creativity. Topic number 146. Now, why is it important that we have a culture of innovation and creativity to start with? I mean, let's talk about why we want to do it. I know I've spoken about this a few times in other inspirations. You might be getting a bit sick of it, but it is important. It's what keeps our business growing. It's what allows our business to grow. Without innovation and creativity, you will find yourself as a manager and as a leader and an owner of a business starting to burn out, because you're just trying to you've got to get your business growing, and I've got to keep going, I've got to keep going. But if you've got a culture of innovation and creativity and your team members feel that they can be contributing to it, it makes your job easier, because it's not only you now finding ideas or seeing opportunities that present themselves. You may not actually see what one of your team members sees. They go, oh wow, if we did this a different way, it could be, and they'll bring that idea to you. But you need to have that culture in place for them to do that because without it, they're going to go, oh, can't be bothered. It's not going to be received well. So let's talk about what you need to do. We talk about having an open environment. I know I've spoken about this in a recent inspiration as well, but you need to have an environment that allows for the sharing of ideas. You need to have open communication with your team members. One of the notes I have here says, without fear of judgment or rejection or ridicule, is one of the things I want to add to that. They need to be able to feel that they can come to you and they're not going to get told, oh, that's stupid, or just go away, I'm too busy to look at it, or I don't want your ideas. Now, the worst thing you could say to someone is, I don't want your ideas. Because if you say that, you're not going to get their ideas. And one day they're going to have a good idea that you're going to go, well, why didn't you bring it to me? Well, you told me you didn't want them. That's going to be the answer that you get. Now, look, I have to apologize. I noticed that I'm a little dark in this video. The sun is moving around and I still haven't fixed up the lighting in my van. So I am sorry. I am trying to fix it. I will fix it eventually when I find the solution that works best for me. So you need to have an environment with open communication. You need to be very careful about not showing judgment. And judgment, adverse judgment, I'm going to say, praising people for bringing stuff to you is a form of judgment. You're judging them positively, basically. And don't reject them, and certainly don't tell them that you don't want their ideas. Have an environment where you have brainstorming sessions, idea boxes, the ability for them to put up thoughts that people can interact on. I actually run a Discord server, and my team members are all on the Discord server. We have a channel for ourselves where we talk and we interact back and forwards. If someone's having a problem, they can say, hey, listen, how do I fix this? What do I do? Or what would you guys do? And the other team members can actually provide advice. I certainly monitor it. But I don't want to be the only one that has thoughts on it. My older team members, my more long-serving team members certainly know how I think and the standards I have and the touch points I have around certain things. And they can certainly provide that feedback without me needing to step in and say, oh, that's not how we do things here. And I sometimes have to do that. And that's fine, because that's about setting my own standards for the business. But they can put up their own ideas. We've got separate channels where they can put things into and talk about it. They can come to me privately and say, what do you think about this idea? And I'll often say, well, what does it look like? Why don't you go off and tell me what you think that looks like? a couple of hours on your timesheet this week to go and investigate that for me. And I'll pay them to go and look at it and come back to me with a framework of how they think that looks. That works really, really well. But you've got to foster that open environment. So make sure it's not judgmental. Make sure that you're not rejecting it. Make sure other team members don't do it. Sometimes people will do it in jest, and they don't understand how that lands on another team member. So you've got to be really, really careful. You can joke around some things, but sometimes you need to be a little careful on it. Oh, excuse me. Okay, you need to provide resources and support for experimentation. This comes back to that last point I just made. Sometimes I will say to a team member, put 2 or 3 hours on your timesheet this week and go, or on your bill to me this week, however they do it, or take it out of the budget that you've allocated for me that I pay you for in advance, and go and look at that. That sounds like a great idea to me. Come back to me with what it looks like. So by doing that, I'm allocating the time and the budget for them to be able to do it. They're not using their own time. It's not costing them time to do it. It's on my dime. It's on my time. And making sure that they feel that they can do it and they're not going to get in trouble for doing it. Offering training and development opportunities build creative skills as well. Now, the amount of times I have found a training course and gone, this is really good, I'd love to do it, but I don't have the time, but I know someone who I can pay to go and do it. And I will actually send it to one of my team members. I've paid for this. It's yours. Go and do it. The thing that I want back is a summary of what you've learned. I want a report on what it is. I want a summary on what you've learned. I want the cliff notes of it, and I want, and then I want to see you implement what you've learned through this into our team and into our business. It's really important, and honestly, that the gratitude that I've got for doing that, like it's like, oh, we'd never buy ourselves this training course. Like, okay, well, I did. It's fine. I'd love to do it myself, but I can't. I don't have the time to do it, or it's not appropriate for me to do it. You're the person that's doing this within my business. So I've got to invest in you to do that. So that works really well as well. And if you're wondering where you can get some of these courses and they don't cost a fortune, I've used udemy.com. When it's on sale, it's on sale. And I know one of my creatives, I actually got some that they were just starting out. They didn't know how to use Photoshop. They didn't know how to use Adobe Illustrator, that suite of products. So I bought a Creative Suite product. I bought some Creative Suite training, and I said, there you go, that's yours. Go and learn how to use Creative Suite. And it paid off in spades. I got some lovely work, and now, they're off they've actually built their business because they're a team member. They're a subcontractor. They're not employed by me. They're now using those skills with their other clients as well. And to me, that's wonderful because I've helped them be successful as well. The other thing is to not punish failure. I look at failing, I hate that word too. I look at failure as a learning experience. You're failing forward, basically. It's just, oh, okay, that didn't work. What happened? Let's go through and see what happened. Why did we fail? What happened? Was this something? One of the things I like to do is also say, was this something that I didn't do for you? Did I not give you the support and the resources you needed to be able to be successful at this? Was this a failing on me, not you? That works wonders as well, because then they're like, oh wow, you're prepared to sort of step up and take the blame as well. But I like to also say, you know what, you tried, you went out, you looked at it, and you gave it a go, and when it didn't work, you came back and you told me straight away. That's the other important thing for me, is that if something's not working and they come back and tell me straight away, we can address it and we can get it moving forward. So don't punish failure. In fact, I'm going to say reward it, as long as it's not repetitive, the same thing again and again and again. Reward it, because you will get some wonderful results from that. And the last one, comes back to that last point: recognize and reward innovation or innovative contributions. Really important. Recognition and reward systems, if you can put them in place, they can be formalized or they can be informal. In my little Discord server, I will say, hey, shout out to so and so, they fixed this thing today, it's fantastic, well done. And then what I also find is that they start shouting out other team members who have done some great stuff as well, because they're seeing it and I might not be. So I think that's great. We end up becoming a mutual support celebration team for each other. In terms of other forms of recognition, more tangible forms of recognition and rewards, sometimes I'll put a bonus into their payment for the month and say, hey, or for the week, and say, hey, listen, you did a really good job, there's a little bit of a bonus for you. Certainly handing over the training courses and giving them, paying for training and paying for those sorts of things works well. Gift cards works well. There's also a number of systems out there where you can pay a couple of dollars a month and get travel vouchers and stuff. I'm not into that. It's just not my thing, but I do like to try and give some tangible rewards as well. Now, what that does, and that celebration of that and all of that does, is it reinforces that they're trying, they're bringing of ideas, their creativity, their innovation is valued and sought after, so they are going to keep trying. And then the last thing is share success stories and case studies within the organization to inspire others. Now look, we're small businesses. Most of our team members know each other. And if you've got a team that don't know each other and that aren't working together, I strongly recommend create a little group that your subbies can get together with. And when they're working with you, they can all have a chat and get to know who they are and what each other are doing. You would be surprised at how wonderful that works, how wonderfully well that works. There we go. That's a better way of putting it. All right. So how do you build a culture of innovation and creativity? There's 3, I think they're hot takes. I think they're pretty good takes on what to do. I hope I've given you some really good practical examples of how you can do it too. If you'd like some help, reach out via DM, chat on our website, email, phone, whatever you want. There's a number of ways to get in touch with us. And please remember to like this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell so you find out when I drop more content, and I will see you for inspiration number 147 tomorrow. Bye, guys.